Let's bring in the Greens Senator and spokesperson for the environment, Sarah Hanson-Young. Thanks for your time. So in your mind, what has the Greens Party achieved in terms of the deal with the government on the safeguard mechanism?
Well, we've worked hard to make sure that this piece of legislation, this package, can be strengthened. The main thing is that pollution will now go down and not up. And that's fundamentally important here. And the whole job before us all is to cut pollution, to drive emissions down and to start the transition. And that's what this bill will now do.
The cap, though, the government, the Minister says that this was their aim from the get-go. So are they really doing anything different?
Well, it may have been his aim, but it's not what the legislation said. So this will now ensure that real pollution cannot go up, it has to go down, a hard cap in there, and a pollution trigger which forces the Minister that every time a new project is about to come on board, the Minister is going to have to be forced to see whether they can allow it based on whether it will blow the cap or not. So it puts the ball in the Minister's court day after day after day. If Labor want to allow new coal and gas, they're going to have to breach the cap, change it, or indeed put more downward pressure on pollution, which is what this legislation now will achieve.
So while there might not be any penalty if companies were to breach the cap as agreed to by the government, your argument is that it would put the heat on the Minister of the day to say, OK, you've got to explain why you're allowing this to happen.
Well, it'll be illegal. It'll be illegal to breach the cap. So then the ball will be in the Minister's court. What's he going to do? What's the government going to do? The best and most important thing about this set of amendments, though, is that we've blown a hole in new coal and gas. Out of those 116 projects that are currently on the books, about half of them won't be able to go ahead under this hard cap.
Do you accept, though, that gas is still going to be an important transition fuel and that coal remains an energy source vital to our economy for some time to come?
What this deals with is new coal and gas, and the challenge we've got is what we do with all of the coal and gas we've currently got in the system, because there's too much of that. But if we keep opening up new coal and gas mines, it makes the job even harder to keep pushing down pollution. The truth of the matter is that we are having to transition away from these dirty fossil fuels. We need to decarbonise, and you can't do that if you keep, every time you get a step forward over here, you go backwards because the government is allowing a new gas field to open up. The blow in the blow to Beetaloo and opening up Beetaloo is significant out of these changes. We've really derailed that project, and you can see what the market's reaction to that is today. The major proponent wanting to drill for gas in the Beetaloo has taken nearly a 5% cut today to their share price. This is significant. It's already having an impact.
Bob Brown and Christine Milne urged the Greens to hold the line and make sure that there are no future coal and gas projects. But is this an evolution of the Greens to say, OK, we're not just going to block progress in the pursuit of the perfect like
I think
the Greens did back in 2009?
Well, I was part of that decision. I voted on that piece of legislation, and it was a crap piece of legislation. And the government of the day did not negotiate with the Greens, they negotiated with the Liberals. Here we are negotiating, the Greens are negotiating with the government. We've got a good deal. We've put a hard cap on pollution.
Are the Greens being more pragmatic in 2023 than they were 14 years ago?
I don't think it's about being more pragmatic. It's about being pragmatic in the environment and the context that you're given. And here we could have we made a real decision to have a real impact, and that means cutting real pollution. Pollution's going to go down, not up, and that's a good thing.
Greens Environment Spokesperson Sarah Hanson-Young, appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Thank you.